Hello to all of my BPTV friends, YouTube friends, and Facebook friends. I'm Alan Levine, the Talking Machine, and we're here to do my 28th Maria's Ideas Teaches Us to Paint.
All right, we are here at John O's Art Studio in the Southside Slopes of Pittsburgh, and we have a wonderful guest. I've just met her recently, and I loved her from the day we met. Desiree Vocolo. She is a wonderful person, and I just love her her spirit and different things that she has happening right now for you to find out that maybe you'd like to participate in and be a part of this awesome artistic community. So welcome, Desiree.
Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to
Thank you for
be
coming.
here.
Yeah.
This is fun.
We're so glad you could make it. We know you're a busy person. So we did this. You inspired the artwork today. So we'll get to that. But maybe tell everyone what your endeavors, what you have going on here.
Yeah, happy to. So I am the founder of Local Good. It's local-good.com, and it's a website that I created during the pandemic to be able to help artists sell their work, give back to charity, and to really just celebrate them. I mean, as Maria knows, because she has recently joined the community, which we're thrilled about. It's so much fun to really get to know each and every artist, including all the stuff that I've been learning about you, and be able to share that with people and just be able to get that information out there to try and help people realize how important it is to support local businesses like John O's and Maria's Ideas.
And you have to make it easy for people too, because people want to, but sometimes they don't know where to go.
Absolutely.
So it's great. So thank you so much. It's amazing. And I didn't even know you, and I said, yep, I'm in. And I just knew, well, because it's hard when you commit to something. At least for me, I like to know that I can fulfill my commitment, even though it's taken me a while to get everything up because just timing wise, but on my page. But I just knew that it would be great. So I'm happy to be a small part of that, and we're happy to have you paint with us. So
that is great. But I got one question.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Are you an artist?
I'm crafty, I tell people, but no, I'm not an artist. I'm learning. Everyone's an artist,
everybody
right?
is an artist.
Well, that's why I brought it up, because my co-host has told me I'll be a painter now, and she's calling me I'm a painter.
Yeah, everybody's an
So
artist.
welcome
Not everybody
aboard.
cares. Yeah.
And we listen to Maria, and all of you should listen too, because she helps me. I'm wondering.
Hey, I'm still learning.
I am too, and
43
we
years
like
later.
promoting local people here.
Yes.
So
like you. So thank you. So we're going to paint. And this, like I said, so this is titled "You Are Amazing," and this was inspired by you and how you. What's really important to myself and to Desiree and the like-minded people and artists that you have in the group is supporting each other. Especially, I think women supporting other women. I think it's better nowadays, but years ago it was always like it just wasn't a thing, or people. There was always, it seemed like this big rumor floating above all of us that we don't support each other, and I don't think that's true. And I feel that this is also another way that shows and helps women support each other. Everybody has a story. Everybody has things you're going through, good, bad, or whatever. And why not get involved with some creativity in the meantime, right? I think it's just wonderful. So this was inspired by just that whole idea of supporting, uplifting each other around the world. This can be men, women, whatever. And I just wanted to use really bright colors because this is how I feel when I
it looks amazing, and I support women. My 3 sisters, my daughter, and women's groups in the area.
We support men too,
awesome.
but
that's
women,
all right. But
women supporting other women, it's a good thing. So what I'm going
we
to
clarified all that. Let's get into this. Yes.
So what I did here, now you could see this is just a quick color lesson. These are all very bold, bright colors, but I kept the value. So you could see the values. Like if you look at this paint deck by our friend at EV Hardware.
Oh, Andy
In
Amrine.
Bethel Park. So if you look here, these are the values of the paints, colors. these are a certain value, these are the same value. So when you are putting a palette together, if you use this color, like that, it's okay, but if you want it to still be cohesive and not just one little spot jump out and other ones fade away, when you're using bold colors, you either want a contrast, and that contrast is going to focus on a certain subject, or you just want it to just have a nice even flow and the values are same. So same thing would apply if you're decorating a room or if you're doing paint colors. It's usually works better if they don't have to be the same colors, but
Sure.
the value makes a big difference. So you can see the values, they're all about in here of the colors. Now, whenever you guys paint, and even when I paint, maybe we'd be throwing that all out the window because we're going to mix the colors and play with them and do whatever. So you don't have to do that.
Got it.
But that's just the way I designed it because there are a lot of bold colors. If you feel like you want one to be lighter or bolder, go for it. It's your art, okay? But we are using acrylics, and we are using white, orange, yellow, turquoise, pink, green, purple, and black. I usually try to keep it to 6 colors and mix, but I had the colors and they're just fun. So
This is the first
figured why
time
not.
ever on Ria's Ideas Teaches Us to
Yeah.
Paint. We went 8,
we did, yeah. So yeah,
and that'll be great.
After
Let's
game.
go.
let's go.
Yeah.
All right, so
For all us sports fans
That's
out
right.
there.
yeah, we
Thanks,
are.
Desiree.
Let's see. Okay, so we are using synthetic brushes. I like to use synthetic. I don't ever like to use natural animal hair brushes. But
Understand.
If other people do, that's fine. I just don't like to. And also, they work well with acrylics. So this is the 1/2-inch flat shader. And what we're going to do, usually wet the brush first, and then take the extra water off on the paper towel. That just
Little dabble, do you?
yeah, that just gives the bristles the moisture that helps it grab the paint, accept the paint. So we are starting with the background first. So we're doing, now some people might think, well, don't we have to paint these lines in first? Not the way I'm teaching it. We're doing the background, they will go on top. So typically when you work with acrylics, it's from back to front. So everything in the front is last, all those little details and all that. So we're going to work on the background. So I'm using a yellow. You
And
can use
Desiree, we'll have you check
Yeah.
the list with what we're doing.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah. So we can. I'm going to use the yellow just straight out of the bottle the way I have it. I want this nice and bold. You can mix a little white with it, which actually I think I might just throw on just so you can see. If you mix, I like to mix just right on the canvas when I'm working wet on wet. If you wanted
Maria's
a little
great.
bit, yeah. If you wanted a little lighter here and there, it just adds a little more dimension. It's really up to you. I'm not even sure if that shows very well on the camera, but we're just filling in the background. You don't have to worry too much about covering this line because the yellow's more transparent and you can still see it.
Maria, I already found that out.
Yes, some colors are more transparent than others. And I also should say when we did this, so each, I should have said this before, but each episode I have a 10-minute tutorial on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So it shows you how to draw each design, okay? So that if you can't draw it yourself, it makes it very easy, it breaks it down. So, and then we just transferred it on.
And it works. She's helped me.
Yeah, so
That's awesome.
what I did, I used, this is a graphite transfer paper. It's like
We're
graphite.
going old school with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
carbon paper,
Yeah.
but it's graphite, so it's not as intense. And so I drew it first, I printed it out. You can just draw something on a piece of paper, then you lay the transfer paper down, or you can use chalk on the back of the drawing, or actually a pencil and just scribble all over it. We used to do that when we were kids. And then you lay the design on top and trace it, and then it transfers onto here. So that's how we did it, so they're all the same.
Very fun.
Or you can just draw right on the canvas too.
You're artistic. You
Okay.
understand.
Yeah, so that's it. So we'll just cut in. I'm going to probably paint a little quicker than you guys, so you don't have to worry about keeping up. But just when you cut in around something, so this, sometimes I feel like it's easier to cut in with a bigger brush because your hand can stay more steady. For instance, if I'm coming in and cutting around this heart, if I lay this brush, this has a nice corner. If I just lay this down, see I'm pushing that down, and then you just pull your hand.
Let me try that.
It helps you control the brush stroke and it keeps your hand steady. If you're using a smaller brush, yeah, see that, and then
Oh, that is a
you know,
little
as long
easier.
as, and then if you're using a smaller brush, oftentimes you're not able to push down on it like that, and then your hand's shaking, and again, I mean, for this type of artwork, it doesn't matter if it's not perfectly straight. That's fine.
I learned, yes.
Yeah, and I usually like when the artwork is a little looser anyway, not so like perfect. Makes it more painterly. Ooh.
So does your choice of using acrylic, is that because of, well, I
why-
should ask why did you choose acrylic?
Well, I like acrylics because they dry fast, and I'm very impatient painter.
Honesty is
Are you
refreshing.
kidding me? If I had to wait for paints to dry for a couple days before I go on the next step, I'd probably never finish the painting.
Oh my goodness.
And that's from experience, I know that. So I would say I like it. It dries quickly. They're fun. They're non-toxic. A lot of the acrylics now, they're just better. You know, they don't have a lot of the chemicals in them. What some paints do. Clean up with soap and water. It's just, they're just easy. They're less expensive. They're
That
easy
was a
to-
great question.
I mean,
Look
there
what
are-
we're getting.
I take that back. There are many brands and varieties of acrylics and quality of acrylics. Some are, $40 for 4 ounces. Some are
Wow.
$4 for 4 ounces. It's the pigment, it's the quality of the paint. So for what we're doing, these are just craft acrylics you can get anywhere. And, it's just, you can mix, I like acrylics, you can mix acrylics with acrylics. You can, if you have house paint at home that left over from painting your bedroom wall and you like the color, you can use that. You can mix acrylics with acrylics, so as long as, each one. So there you go.
I had never thought about
Yeah.
using the house
Oh, yeah.
paints because
Well-
everybody's got a ton in their house usually.
And
What do you do with it?
Yes, we do, right?
Sure, in over 30 years, I've done large murals around the city, and usually I would buy the large portions of paint at a paint store. I'd buy gallons of white, gallons of certain background colors. Some of my murals were 40 feet wide, so I'm not going to buy little bottles. So, but then for the accent colors and other colors that I wanted to use for more of the details, then I would use my smaller craft or professional artist paints. So there you go.
Very fun. Yours looks so different than mine, and we're using
Yeah,
the
that's
same
good.
color.
That's good. Well, I mixed white in some of
that's
it.
right.
I got to stay bold.
So you stay bold. That's
You and me
great.
both.
Yes. So what and you just do that. I'm just going to show maybe say it will look different than it does there, but just say you wanted to mix in because it's still wet. When it's shiny, it's wet. When it's not so shiny, you could tell it's dry. Just say I wanted to mix in a little bit of this color in the background, the
Whoa,
orange,
look
and you
at
can
that.
blend it. This is just if you wanted to give it a different vibe. You see how fun that is and how easy it is. That's with the orange. What if I did some of the pink? And I'm only showing this because I can this at the time, and you just might want to do that. Okay,
Or not.
and you'll see when it's done the difference between not doing that and having these nice bold shapes at the top, or having this different background color. So that's all.
That looks cool.
Yeah, and because it's wet, you can see I'm doing like a crosshatch technique, which is like when you're mixing and you keep it wet on wet and you move that edge, I'm flipping like this. Same thing when you mix your paint on the palette. If we're mixing colors, you try not to smush the brush. You just kind of flip it like that back and
She's
forth.
taught me that, so
Yeah.
yes. I've tried my
Yeah,
best.
yeah. So that's that. Let's see. I'm going to grab, and you, like I said, you guys just keep painting, but don't worry about catching up. We'll
Okay.
make sure you get.
I
to
caught
finish.
up, so I'm good.
Yeah, but I'm going to go on to the next step, but I'll explain what we're going to do, and then maybe you could talk a little bit. How about that? I'm going to grab the green and just fill in anything that's green on the canvas, which would be the background and the little green areas
that
on the
lower
heart, which is
background
like the
then.
earth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even that heart in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Just
yes.
just asking.
And I'm going to use the Filbert brush, which is a curved brush, and there's a smaller one too. You might need the smaller one at some point. But so
Is this one okay then? or-
yes.
Okay.
So Desiree, so tell me how's it going, or where you're at now with everything, or
Yeah, the community is growing. honestly, I work full time. I'm in healthcare, and I was
are
doing
you?
yeah.
Prayers for you. It's so tough in that.
It has
healthcare.
been
Yeah.
interesting. I don't think people realize how bad it is.
I do.
I learned at a conference just last week that 60% of the children in the United States are covered under Medicaid. And
Yeah.
with all of these changes that are
No, I
happening,
knew
this
that.
is
Yeah.
huge impact.
It's scary.
Yeah, it is. And as our patient population is aging, that's really huge. And quite honestly, it is. It's stressful. And I just kept traveling and kept meeting amazing artists and kept hearing people's stories because to me, connecting with people is the most important thing.
Sure.
And sometimes in this day and age with all the social media, I think we forget to make those human
We're
connections.
connected more than
Yeah.
ever, but we're not.
Correct. That's
Right?
exactly, and that's how I felt.
Yep.
And so when I meet artists, I always love to hear their story and get an understanding of who they are and what
that's
they do and why. And
Wow, that is great.
Yeah, to me, that's the best part of having a piece of art, you know, a knowing their story and understanding
Sure.
who they are. So
And I think that's why people like to meet the artists when they go to a
Yep.
show, even online. If you have a website or a social media page, I was told by professionals, they don't want pictures anymore. They want video. They want to see you. I'm a little more old school. I don't necessarily like to have my face on there, but that's what people want. So, which is good.
they
you
do,
know.
because I think what it is people are hungry to connect.
Sure.
And so when
Sure.
they have that opportunity to really get to know you,
Sure.
to see you, to hear you, that experience really allows them to feel that connection.
Sure, and appreciate then
and
the work
yes.
because oh yeah, that's that person. They created this. I met them, and so no, it's wonderful. So I think it's fantastic what you're doing, and I'm so proud of you, and just so happy to just be a part of it. And I'm looking forward to really getting going with. But you asked me a while back, and then I had so many commitments going on. I'm like saying I got to get some artwork on there on my page, and but the nice thing is you and your group are also volunteers doing this, right?
Yeah,
Which is
everyone.
amazing.
Yeah,
But
everyone.
it's so professional.
That is great.
Easy to navigate, and I had a couple questions. Like, I mean, they're right there. They're helping you. It's wonderful. It's just great. I'm very excited about it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because that was really the intention, is just to find the easiest way to help the artist,
Sure.
but also make it easy for consumers to be able to figure out, you know,
Yes.
where can I go to buy a Mother's Day gift or a Father's Day gift or wedding season's coming, and
Yeah.
you don't have to go, well, especially
Well,
for
tell
people
them,
who were.
tell them where to go.
Oh, thank you for
I
that
want to get
reminder.
that word out.
Yeah.
That's the guy. I like promoting and helping.
That's
so.
perfect. So it's local-good.com. And you can go there for wedding gifts. You can also go there for all of the graduation gifts that are coming up. We have so many amazing artists like Maria and others, and we have artists throughout the U.S. now. So it's not.
I know.
Dude.
We
That's
started in
awesome.
Pittsburgh because we
Yeah.
absolutely
We're
love
the
Pittsburgh.
epicenter.
We
They can all
absolutely-
join us, okay?
That's absolutely it.
Yes.
But then we have artists. We have artists in Colorado and Utah.
That's awesome.
And we have artists. We have artists in a lot of places.
That's great.
But we also work with the shops, like Maria's Ideas and Jono's. We want to work with
Right.
the shops because we want to make sure that they
Sure.
stay in business so we can celebrate and promote
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And really,
Me too.
Artistry.
Songbird artistry.
So that's where we met,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So I was involved. I was asked to create a piece that was kind of my story, how I got into my artwork, and the story that I won't get into it now, but how I was told I'll never make it by my high school counselor and all that stuff. But that was 43 years ago. I've been in business that long. That's how long ago he told me.
No
that.
way. I
So,
can't believe
But
that.
anyway, so they had this, it was an empowering women kind of event, and they were all different emerging artists, professional artists, and that's where I met Desiree, and she told me about her website and what she's doing, and I'm like, I'm in. And that's just rare for me because I just usually don't commit to things unless I know a little more. But I just had a feeling about you and what you're doing, and I just love that the whole message behind it, and then the donating to a charity. So the charity this year is
So
what?
the charity focus this year is women's reproductive rights, to make sure that we could ensure that all women have a right to be
That
able
is so
to figure out
important and necessary.
Yeah, figure out how they can manage their own health care, and that's super important.
Yeah.
We are, and I will share this, we are actually working towards setting up a local good nonprofit.
Yay.
That's
No
been a
way,
big...
a 301c.
Yeah, 501c3.
501c3.
So that
Yeah.
way we can find
Oh,
more
sorry,
ways.
I was focusing
That's
on my
okay.
painting.
Hey, I love that you know what they are.
501c3. I know exactly what they are. I even was an employee with a couple nonprofits.
Oh, that's
and I'm a trustee on a couple nonprofits.
that's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I
it's-
do know. I
See,
misspoke.
No, that's perfect.
No.
It's important though that we have enough people who are saying, yeah, we really do want to support local. We want to support
Yes.
artists. And so we're going to set up that to be able to help, because every artist we talk to, I tell people, we're not judging the art. We're making sure we're working with good people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so we're
that's
focused-
Maria's
Right.
theme.
Yeah, that's why we gelled and connected, because
Yeah.
we have the same goal. And as
I'm
we
glad you two met.
And I always feel, how do you judge art? I mean, I guess if something or a show, an exhibit, there's a certain level of professional work or experience they want the artist to have, but how do you know unless someone's art is shown? And I've been asked to judge art and different things,
Have
and
you?
it's very difficult
Yeah.
because art is subjective. Everyone has their own eye, and how do you grade or judge anyone's art?
That's a great point.
Right?
Yeah.
And I feel like an art
What's your
classes
thought
are-
on it when you see it? What's your thought in judging?
I like everything. I like it all. But
Okay.
there are
Yeah.
there are obviously pieces that I'm drawn to more than others for whatever reason. And sometimes it's my mood that day. Sometimes it's the colors. Sometimes it's the message behind it. Sometimes it's just, I don't even know what that is, but I like it. It's groovy.
Wow.
Like so.
Yeah.
That's what's
Your
great
mind
about
is
art.
open then.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to
Sure.
get to. You have an open mind.
And that's what's nice about art. Like art and music, I feel like are like you don't even have to know. You don't have to speak the same language.
Nope.
I have some of my favorite songs. I don't know what they're saying, but I love I love the song. I love the beat, and it makes me happy when I hear them. So
Totally
and I
with
feel
you.
like art's the same way. So, but anyway, yeah, it's just awesome, and I can't wait to see a year from now, where everyone's going to be with it, and any way I can help, you let us know.
Oh, I love that, and
Yeah.
we're grateful to have you as part of the community.
Thank
and,
you.
And there's so many volunteers behind the scenes. We have a social media team, a marketing team.
Yeah.
We have a
Like the
web
show,
design and development.
volunteer, yeah.
This you can use for marketing too, and tell them where to go again.
Yeah.
We got to get that out.
Yes, thank you for that. So it's local-good.com is our website. We're also, of course, on social media on Instagram, and it's localgood_US. You can also find everything for our LinkedIn, for our Facebook. It's
Oh,
all out
great.
there as well.
Yeah, and it'll be in the credits too.
Yeah, that's perfect. And
No, I want it out there. Yeah, that's great. We'll cover you.
oh, that's perfect, because the team, they do work so hard, and we have such an amazing team behind the scenes who is they're really passionate about this as
Yeah,
well. And
definitely.
some of them are artists themselves. Some
Yeah.
of them, are just
It's
just
terrific.
amazing people. So
Yeah, it's-
very, very
it's
blessed
exciting.
for all
I
of
just
that.
wish I didn't have to sleep because I have more time to just.
Oh, there we go.
We have to sleep. So, all right, let's go on to the next section. So what I did, I grabbed the little filbert brush, and I painted blue in the heart where the water, to represent the water, like this is the earth. And I mixed blue and white, and I just kind of swirled it around a little bit just to give it a little bit of texture. So, Alan, if you want to add your blue, you can just add it on top of the green once
Oh,
the green
okay.
dries.
Yeah.
And so what I'm doing now is, since I have that blue on my brush, I'm just going to fill in.
And do I add white too, or
You
say?
can if you want to. I did, just to kind of give it like the
Well, I want to copy.
water,
I want to copy
ripply-
you because you're the
ripply.
best
Oh, well,
in my book.
thanks. Somebody has you fooled.
No, you did then.
All right, so what I'm doing,
I'm not
just...
taking it back.
You're funny. I'm grabbing, now I use the filbert brush again. You can use probably the larger brush as well, but I like the filbert when you have some curvy areas. It helps you get in that, see that, like instead of, you just go like this and lay the brush down and it creates that shape for you.
Oh,
So I'm filling in everything that I want to be this turquoise color. Now we're doing this in layers. So what we're doing is first we're blocking in. We're just blocking in these areas. So I want this to be blocking it in. And then any little details come last. This one, this little jersey here. So you can change the colors of the clothes. You can mix colors. I'm just going to keep it a little closer to what we have here. And then now I do have, I'm going to switch to, I was going to say I have the turquoise on my brush, but I would rather have my flat brush for these. I'm going to add some of these blue marks at the top of the canvas. So I'm taking the flat brush and I'm making sure there's no paint in the belly of the brush. It's nice and clean and like this, nice chiseled edge. And here, I'll show you why. So we're going to load that. And we're going to make sure there's enough paint on the brush like this by flipping it, double loading here. Okay, generous amount. And then what we're doing is we're holding the brush not flat, but vertically. and we're coming off of the canvas and we're pushing down and we're picking it up. And that's how we get those lines. So you just start, you see this, Alan?
Yeah.
I'm off the canvas, and I know you've done brush strokes like this
No,
before.
I needed the refresher on that.
So,
Yes.
yeah, and it's a little easier the faster you do it. You can always add more. I'm just going to throw some in, and then and you can see, you're seeing the yellow in between. And I might want to make them darker again. I'll do another layer, but I'm just going to add those while I have that color.
And what color is that again?
That's the turquoise color.
Okay, because I'm still doing the blue
Yeah.
around here.
Yeah. And then you can do, so then when you have that, just look and see anything that's blue, you can do that while you have
The blue in my
It's
hand.
just a way of being a little more time efficient, I guess. Okay, and then let's see, then I'll just grab whatever color. I'm going to go to the pink, and I think I'm using the Filbert, the large and the small. And so our people have pink faces, purple faces. I purposely didn't want to use like skin colors because it could be anybody, anywhere, any
No,
color.
I like your theme on that. That's great.
You know,
Can I share something
Yeah,
that stood out with
absolutely.
me for that? When my daughter was really little, I used to tell her all the time how important it is to have, trying to teach representation.
Sure.
And I tried to tell her, I was like, if you're in a room full of people that everybody has a pink face and you're purple, you might feel a little
wow.
different. And so when you sent this
Oh
to
my
me, I was
God.
like
That is-
almost in tears because I remembered that.
And the colors too.
And the
Pink is-
colors, because
That
these were
is
her
so
favorite
great.
colors. And I used to say all the time that you need to
That's-
find your people, meaning people who you feel good around, not necessarily doesn't
What a
matter
good
the
mother.
colors.
I love that
That's
theme.
But so when I saw this and I realized everyone had different colors and different faces, I was like, this is beautiful
That's
because it really
amazing.
does represent life.
And
Yeah.
I just, when I'm designing the piece, I think of my guest and what it feels like when I think of them. And this is what I came up with. This was not really I didn't know what I was going to do. And the colors too. I mean, usually we don't paint with all these, these
bright-
are more like candy kind of colors.
Yeah, they're
I don't
fantastic.
think we did yet. So
Aw.
that's awesome. I love that you say that to her too. That's very important, and it's true.
Yeah.
And the really cool thing about being yourself is just being yourself. Be different.
Absolutely.
I mean, luckily I was brought up in a family where we were, taught the same thing, and I didn't care about being like everybody else, In fact, I was a little bit more rebellious. If everybody was doing one thing, I'm like, I'm going the other way.
Well, my mother said I was special, so I tried to be that way.
Yeah.
Not in the special nowadays, but back in the 50s
Aw.
and 60s.
I think a lot of mine came from being the fourth child too. It was like I had to keep up with people, but also like find my own voice.
Well, I was the oldest, so it didn't matter. It was
Yeah.
I was new to them and
Aw.
me. What brush do I use? You said a flat brush.
for the
For the turquoise.
yes, the flat, and then make sure it's nice and clean, chiseled edge, and then hold
Okay.
it vertically.
Okay.
And then same thing with your other color. So I just took the pink. I used just filled in all the pink areas. I'll go to orange.
Yeah, I'm a little behind, so
No,
I'm
you're
trying
fine. Take your time. So the other thing I do when I'm painting is I'll go from one color to another similar color because I don't even want to take time to clean out my brush. And not that it's that I don't want to take
I
time.
like your
necessarily.
style.
Well, because I feel
You're
like
efficient.
I
Yeah.
am, but also sometimes
We
the
respect
colors.
it.
Well, but when the colors mix,
Yeah.
sometimes like if I have pink on there, I go into the orange. Okay, I might get a little bit of that pink in here. That's cool.
Yeah.
And they just blend. Again, I feel like the way I like to paint, if I'm doing my own thing, I do a lot of custom art. But if I'm painting in my own style, I'm looser, and I like the colors to mix and intermix and kind of cross-pollinate a little bit.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
You went deep for us.
Yeah, so now you can see I'm just blocking in, and some of that blue picked up and got a little bit muddy there on the shirt, but that's okay.
I like that term.
Thanks. So the reason we block everything in first is because that's, again, we're working from back to front. So in this little section here of this person's outfit, the background would be the solid color, and then the details come on top instead of trying to paint around a lot of details. You're just blocking everything in, and all the little details are last. And let's see, the purple, then I can go to the purple. So we're just blocking in Now this purple does not seem, it seems a bit transparent, which usually purple isn't. So I might have to do another layer on there. We'll have to see. So some of these colors you can see more of the brush stroke. So I'm just going to go with it then. I'm going to let that brush stroke show. I just did a heart shape. Let's see, purple. Not the details in the hair yet because that would come after. But this purple face.
I'll try to catch up.
You're good.
What brush should I use for the pink?
I use the Filbert large and small.
Okay.
The curved.
The Filbert's
The curved one.
Yeah,
the
I'll
curved-
start
yeah.
with the
You actually have a
filbert on
couple of
the
them.
bigger
Okay.
ones. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's really no right or wrong in these. In something
Desiree
like this.
we're trying to work together.
we're catching up. We'll
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I'm hopeful.
And like when at the beginning we were talking like, well, you do some crafty things, but you know, everyone can create art. Not everybody cares to, but if you do, it's just practice. It's like anything. It's just practice. You become a better artist by practicing whatever type of art that is. So
And it's therapeutic. That's
Oh.
the part that I think people
I-
don't necessarily realize.
Oh, yeah.
I get cranky if I'm not painting every day. Like the most I could go is like 4 days, and then I get very
Whoa,
I get
you
very
know that.
like anxious, and I never realized that until there were
you have anxiety and didn't know it.
Well, it helps. I don't know. It just calms you down. You get in this little world. Like I'll have music on. I don't even hear the music. It's I'll start painting. I don't even know what I'm listening to. It just
What's great background?
yeah. You get into like an awake meditative state or something. So
You're in the zone, as we call it in
exactly.
sports.
Sure, exactly.
Well, and especially now with there's so many issues around mental health.
Yeah.
And being able to find something that is therapeutic.
Exactly.
Since
super
COVID,
helpful.
it's gotten so terrible.
And I
has.
think
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons, because I teach classes too at a lot of places and corporations and private things, and people are flocking to these classes everywhere,
Yep.
whether it's ceramic or paint or knitting, or because it is very therapeutic, and you just forget about your troubles. Everybody has troubles. Everybody has something going on, or like you said, everybody has a story, but it's just a nice little escape. So it's good. Gardening, anything like that.
In the hustle culture, you need a little something to help you.
Exactly.
Amen.
Yeah. And some days I feel like painting. Some days I feel like using like my little scroll saw or gluing things. I just mix it up.
Well, you're so creative, Maria.
Well, I was brought up in a creative family and just thought everybody did that stuff. All right, what am I missing? Oh, purple arms. So I'm just going in. So you could see why this little filbert, I'm just turning it on its side too. The hands, we're not worried about fingers. They're just like,
I see that.
they're just very simple, almost suggestive, almost like they have mittens on, I didn't want to get into fingers. These are very simple, stylized.
Thank you for doing
people.
that for me. It's
Yeah.
appreciated.
Sure. Let's see. I didn't have purple.
No
here, I
argument here.
think. No. So I'm just, everything's blocked in with the colors, and then you do I used black on the hair because I'm accenting with black at the end, and that's just kind of helps balance it a little bit. And then we're covering up the black with some details too. So, that arm I still have to do. So you could see.
Thanks for explaining all that. That's
Yeah.
great.
So I'm still using that little filbert brush, and I'm coming in. So yeah, whatever I would say most of the arms and everything is the small filbert. It's the little small curved one.
Maria, you must have taught me. Look, I did it with the big filbert.
Yeah, it's just it's
I'm
just
proud
how,
of myself. I have a light touch now.
Good job.
Instead of being so bold, I had to just tell you that.
Cool. Well,
when-
because you learn how to use the brushes, they're tools, and it's how you use it, which helps you achieve a certain
Thank you.
look or a shape.
I must
sometimes
say
it just-
thank you, Maria.
Yeah. So sometimes, on most of this, it kind of doesn't matter as much. But for these little curved areas, if it's something that's curved, then a curved brush helps because, like right here, say I want this little curved shape at the end of the hair. If I lay my brush down this way and go from here, it gives me that little shape. So just look at the shape that you're trying to achieve, and
Yeah.
now this one, I think, this one has some wild hair. I think I'm going to grab one of my little liner brushes. And when you use a liner brush, I always wet it and just kind of go like this and get that nice little point.
You've taught me that. Keep it
Yeah.
precise on that point. Don't
So-
let it spread out.
Yeah, so this one you could see I'm coming in and I'm just going like this, like little squiggles. I want this to be some wild hair. I love your hair, by the way.
That's
Pretty
the
curls.
wild
I
hair.
hope you like it. People,
I
people with
do.
curly hair want
Well, it's your
straight
hair. You
people-
got to.
No,
great.
no. For there was a period of time where women were meant to feel like they were supposed to tame their hair.
Yep.
And
Oh
so
yeah.
that was really important that
Yep.
No, that's a
suddenly we
great
started
point.
to realize that no, that is your hair.
And now people pay a lot of money for
Right.
those kind of curls. So you
Yeah.
have them. That's great.
Well,
Yeah.
I had the curly hair, and my sister, 16 months younger, had curly hair. My 2 younger sisters had straight dark hair.
Really?
Yeah, so it was funny. They all wanted my hair.
Aw.
So I started using, back in the 60s, girls' shampoo because my hair was a little longer. So I figured it helped me.
Well, nowadays anything goes, which is nice.
It is.
You know,
and
it
it's
used to
so
be
much
like
better.
the style. What style is everyone wearing now? It's all across the board.
It's whatever you want.
That's right.
Love that though. Love that we finally embraced it.
We needed to.
So that's why. Well, I have, like I said, I blocked them all in with black, but you could see I threw some colors on top. So everything is blocked in, and now this is where you just have fun with, throwing like patterns or shapes or colors. Some of the areas like this right here is still wet. I know I'll wait for that. So I'll just work on the dry areas, whatever's dry. I know I can add my colors up top. I'm going to add orange up here. So again, I'm using this big flat brush. I'm going off the canvas, holding it vertically, and then you push down and pull up. And that gives you your little pointed. Why can't I come up with the word for this? What this is? It's like a dagger shape or I'm not sure. I'm like
A dagger shape.
I don't know, like a
Some
I know.
rays, some
Yeah,
we're,
there you
we're
go.
putting some positive
I
energy
know.
in
I don't
there.
know. I'm gonna say
Yeah,
I want that. I'm like looking at the point, but like I didn't like that word. You're right. Take that back. I take that back. Yeah.
Well, you're 10 steps ahead of us, so I
yeah.
understand that. Yeah.
We'll catch you up, and then so now I did the orange. I can go right into the pink because they're similar colors. And then so what I usually do is you block things in, then you add your details, then you add your highlights and shadows. Then you look at it and say, okay, where do I want more of this? Where do I want more of that? So you can see mine looks different than the other one that I did, and that's okay. Some of these colors might need a second coat, but it depends on what you want it to look like. So everything is blocked in. I have those. So now I'm grabbing my little liner brush again. That's this little one here. And I'm going into my colors, and I'm just adding some details. I'm going to throw some little purple stripes on the hair. I'm going to throw maybe some purple on this. And just move your colors around. I have some purple around the sun. Now you can see here, I'm doing it more of a sketchy vibe. Here, I'm not worried about outlining it perfectly. I'm just doing some loose brush strokes. I think that's a little more fun. And then I'll do the same thing here. I just mixed a little bit of white with the purple because it doesn't seem like it's covering as well.
So where does most of your inspiration come from?
Everything, everywhere, all the time.
That's it. I got it.
Like I've never
24 hours a day.
I've never.
That's simple.
That's true because I'm always frustrated because I have so many ideas in my head twirling around all the time, and I know I will never ever get to them. So the
my goodness.
ideas are there. It just depends on the time that I have, and typically though, the things that inspire me the most is nature, animals, wildlife. That to me is my go-to. But I like to paint everything. But yeah, just sometimes just experiences. You know, things that are happening around me. Lately, I've been creating a lot of artwork with positive words and affirmations and things. I feel like I don't know why I'm doing that, but I just feel like I
Wow.
need that. Maybe it's for me as I'm painting. Maybe it's for others to see.
You can inspire somebody else.
Well, and I have, we did the home show recently, and I had a piece there with a lot of, it was a robin. It was like, you never know if you can fly unless you try, or something like that.
Wow.
On there. And you'd be surprised. I'm actually putting it to print because so many people loved it, and just like, wow, that would be good for my daughter. That would be good for my son. Oh, I love that. So I was surprised at how many people were really drawn to that. So what does that say, right? Like there's just like you
There's
were
that
saying,
need for it.
Yeah, and
That is great. Thanks for sharing that.
so I kind of feel like lately in the last year or so, that's the kind of stuff that's been coming out of me more. And again, when I did that, I just sat down. I had no intention of painting a bird. I just put the canvas in front of me and just start painting. So that's when I have my free time and can do my own thing. But
Thank you for sharing all that.
Yeah.
It's an inspiration.
yeah. So you could see I'm just coming around. I feel like they all need a little something, but now this, as you're done, as you block in, that looks good. You're a very neat painter.
I'm a little too neat, I've been
Yeah.
told. It's like, let go a little more. I'm like, I don't know, there's a line.
You did up there, but you can go outside the line, yeah. But your little heart up there, the earth looks good. So when you get to the point where you're outlining everything, sketchy a little bit, just some contour lines, I'm using this pointer liner brush again, and I'm taking the black. The reason I'm putting it on the plate this time, I want to add some water because we want this to flow when it's a little heavier. See how it's a little bit thinner, and you see how I'm grabbing the brush. I'm not doing this with it. I'm doing this way, and then you go like this. You just get that little chisel tip back again, and you want it almost a little bit more of an inky consistency. And you get that little point, and then when you come in, you just use that tip, and you just see how little that little point.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see how, I'm going to be able to paint a good bit. I loaded my brush with a generous amount of paint, but it's all up in the belly of the brush, and it'll just keep moving down as I need it. But you just use the tip, and then just kind of come around and just kind of pick out like anything that needs a little definition. Like you could see here, I feel like her top needs some definition. It doesn't have to be everywhere. Some of this is blending in with the existing colors. It's mostly, I feel like, just the outline of some of their clothes here and there.
So it's like a little accent.
Yeah, and not like every bit of it. I'm not doing the arms. I'm just doing, just to kind of pick out their shape. You could see how it just pops, and because we had, because we used the black, which is a very harsh color, or it's really an abstract, not a color, but whatever. We need to repeat that somewhere. Okay.
It's the contrast,
Yes,
right?
and it balances.
Yeah.
If we didn't
There,
add
your
the black,
artistic skills are coming
yeah,
out. That's
if-
right.
yeah, exactly.
I'm just learning about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Well, hey, it
Get a
sounds
color
like an
wheel.
expert.
Get a color wheel. Learn color theory. There's a lot to that. It helps you understand when you're creating something, especially if you're using paint, why you use certain colors and how it balances. They balance each other. If you want to contrast, if you want, you don't want it to contrast. You want it all to blend. Light colors come forward. Dark colors recede. So I'm going to show you just with this last little bit. I really don't have white on here, but I'll show you just to give you an idea. If I take some white and lay it on this sleeve or this, see how that brings that forward? It just pops it forward because that's the way our eyes see the color.
That's what you need to do as a class on like the whole color wheel,
Oh,
and color
I know.
theory. I have one. I
Yeah.
don't know how to use it.
Yeah, it's I mean, there are a lot of things online that are easy enough to go on now too. And I'm better when I read. I don't always retain everything. I'm better visual if I see something or watch a video.
Oh,
whatever.
really? Some
But-
people are, yeah.
So I would say there are a lot of videos online too that will help you with that. But I also have a giant color wheel. It's like 3 feet round, and I
Oh, really?
thought about bringing it and I forgot. But anyway, yeah, the color wheel is very important to learn. So I have things blocked in, and now I'm just going to add some details. Oh, maybe I want some green. Try to repeat the colors. There's no green. Maybe I'll add a little green here or there, you know. And then for the little dots on her dress, I like this. I know Alan likes dots. You just go like
Yes.
this.
How about that?
Oh,
back
that's how
of the
they get them
brush.
so perfect.
Tell me that
If
isn't
you want-
great.
Wow.
Bigger dots, polka dots, pencil erasers. A new pencil eraser is a great polka dots. So that's it. I'm going to let this dry. Oh, I feel like, wait, I need one more, couple little, maybe here. And then I think I'm done, other than just I'll touch it up a little bit, but I think I'm good. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to take a break and we'll get back to you guys. Okay. All right. You guys did a fantastic job. Let's reveal.
Thank
Pick
you.
them up and show. Wow, they're so great. Desiree, gorgeous, beautiful details.
Great teacher.
Alan, that is wild. There's a party
Thank you.
happening.
Desiree, you were great. Maria, thanks for all your
That
lessons.
was John O'Stage
This
boy
is
clapping.
the least amount of paint
Yeah.
because of Maria saying just do it on the painting.
Well, yeah. It's,
Look
you
at that.
Can.
That's a new record.
Yeah. They look great.
It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Thank
Yours
Thank
looks
you.
Thank you.
all yours
guys.
are great. Both of you did well.
Yes. So hopefully this will inspire someone else to paint and draw and just get creative, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm going to show you next episode is 30? 29?
No, 29.
Wow.
29.
Episode 29. And our guest is going to be Miss Elaine. So if anyone follows BPTV and she reads
Children's
book,
librarian.
it's amazing. She's a librarian at Bethel Park. So I designed this for Miss Elaine, books and birds. I figured it's May, so that's when the cardinals are out singing, and we love, who doesn't love books and birds, right? So this we designed for Elaine's episode.
Another great theme.
Yes.
Can't wait for next show. Stay tuned next time.
And make sure you check out localgood.com.
Yes,
One more
please.
time.
Local-good.com
Yes.
to support local artists and get
Yes.
back to charity.
Yes.
Support them now.